Hello to everyone. Paul Krugman, in a recent article wrote on the New York Times, criticized two main policies that the president-elected Donald J. Trump wants to implement in his new government, considering these policies that could bring higher inflation or could bring back inflations. Please remember that Paul Krugman in 2008 won a Nobel Prize in Economy, and it is one of the most respected economists all throughout the world. But, in my opinion, the critiques made by Krugman might be wrong and a little bit or quite a bit vicious. So, let's analyze the critics. The first one is in regard to illegal migrants. Mr. Krugman considered that deporting illegals could higher the price on the shelves of the supermarket, especially with the agricultural product. This because most of the workforce employed by farmers are migrants, and a huge amount of them are illegal. The other critics brought by Mr. Krugman is referred to the plan of the new president to impose tariffs, especially on the goods imported from China, considering that these tariffs would increase immediately the cost of the good throughout the state. Let's analyze the first one. It is true that the workforce in the agricultural business are mainly made by migrants, and most of them are illegal. But the policy of Mr. Trump doesn't say that he's completely against migration. He says that he's against illegal migrants and people that have criminal record. So, if a farmer in California needs migrants in the farm, he will have the opportunity to bring back those migrants, but on a legal basis. At the same time, I consider that exploiting illegal migrants in order to have cheap product on the shelves of the supermarkets is a little bit racist, in my opinion, and a little bit unfair with the people that are actually working on the farms. So, I consider that to have illegal deported as well as criminal deported doesn't bring necessarily inflation. Actually, it will open the opportunity to farmers to have legal migrants to work on their farms. And there is another important aspect to be considered. Part of the cost of the goods that are in the supermarket is represented by the energy cost. Thanks to the Trump policy of opening the oil exploitation in the United States, this important bracket of cost will be reduced quite a lot. So I consider that this first critic probably is wrong. The second one, in order to understand the second one, it is a little bit more difficult. And we have to analyze three important indicators that are available on the Federal Reserve page. The first one is regarding the trade deficit generated mostly from the commercial relation with China. This deficit have been increasing through time since the 90s. Then there is another important graph to be taken in consideration, that is the monetary expansion of the monetary base and the total debt of the United States. So, what has caused the monetary expansion and what has caused the increasing of the debt? Well, there are two main factors that contribute to this explosion or this increase in both indicators. One of these factors is the deficit. Thanks to the policy of Mr. Trump on imposing tariffs to China, it will reduce the deficit of the United States. So, by reducing the deficit of the country, it will have the opportunity also to reduce the monetary base and maybe to reduce a little bit the debt. And the other factor that explains the explosion of this indicator is the cost of the US government. By the new department led by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy that has the goal to find optimization area in order to reduce the federal government, the United States, it will be able to save a lot of money that at the moment is required in order to pay sometimes double or triple tasks that are normal throughout the federal government. The critic of Krugman's doesn't take in consideration, in my opinion, the main reason of inflation, that is the monetary factor. But if Krugman would have analyzed more deeply the monetary expansion of the country and what are the reasons of this monetary expansion, probably Mr. Krugman would moderate his critics to Trump, to the new administration. So, at the end of the day, I have the impression that the critics that are made by Mr. Krugman are mostly ideologic and not really related to the main reasons why there is inflation and why inflation rose through time. If you like the comment, please subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Thank you.